you're thinking about doing any potting this year, now's the ideal time to do it. It's absolutely teeming it down with rain. It has since November. Your ground's very wet. It's got to dry up at some point, but now's an ideal time. Get your shrubberies done. Hi, I'm Paul Amby. Welcome to our nursery on another absolutely wet day in Yorkshire. This time I'm going to do, well, this video is going to be plant focus, and we're going to focus on Nandina, or Sacred Bamboo. It's a beautiful little shrub native to Japan. We have 65 cultivars in Japan, all named. Such a popular plant, they've got a national society along with many other smaller societies. Now, it's not a bamboo, even though its common name suggests it is. It's actually an erect evergreen shrub. It can be deciduous in colder areas, but in normal English temperatures it'll tend to stay evergreen all the way through the year. The young leaves, when they come out, they're very brightly coloured reds and oranges and yellows. And then they'll turn green as the plant matures before turning back reds and yellows in time for autumn and running into winter. It does flower, although we don't buy this particular shrub for its flowers. We buy it more for its foliage, its contrasting foliage, especially when it's in a mixed, if it's in a mixed shrubbery, which we will do a video later on about a shrubbery. It looks particularly nice as well in an herbaceous border. So this is a young specimen of the plant. This is bright light. As I've mentioned, there's over 65 cultivars of this particular variety of plant. The plant itself will get up, most of them will get up to a height of around about 7 foot, which is around about the 2 metre mark. If you need to control it, you can prune it, by all means prune it, but it's not necessary. I will do a video again later on about how to prune it correctly. This one has been pruned back ever so slightly. There's no damage to the plant and it quite easily grows through it. Grow the plant in free draining compost or a free draining garden with a neutral pH level, although it will grow in slightly alkaline soil and chalky soil. Full sun, sheltered from the marsh, northeasterly winds. So all parts of the plants are toxic, especially the berries. Very toxic for us native birds, cats and dogs. Not so much for humans. Wouldn't suggest for a minute that we start eating the berries. The berries are very easy to remove. It's a good idea, especially for us birds and just for the welfare of us birds. As the berries start to form on the plant, just simply remove them. It's not laden in berries. You'll just get some stems coming off 4 to 5 inch. You just simply remove them. If you've got cats or if you've got a young dog, you're better off just omitting this from your garden altogether. It's invasive to the point where it will send off runners and it'll start popping up all over in your garden. It's great for a shrubbery. If you've got a big shrubbery or if you've got an herbaceous cottage garden that you're wanting to grow. But ideally, put this in a pot. Get it in a pot, it'll stay, it's got interest all year round. You've got your flowers in summer, berries in autumn, but you've got the beautiful contrasting evergreen foliage year round. Except for the cooler parts, so maybe real north of England into Scotland, you might get a point where it will be deciduous, that leaves will drop, but they will reform quite readily in spring as the weather starts to warm through. Don't need to prune the plant, generally no prunings need. It is a drought tolerant plant, which is it's a real bonus in these day and ages when we're trying to save the water. You can give it a little bit of water. Without water, obviously no plant will grow. Even a cactus won't grow without water, but it will tolerate drought conditions. So which is great for a pot, means you can take off for an holiday, 2 weeks away, come back, you know for a fact that your plant's still going to look as good as the day that you left it. Wants to be placed in full sun, but do shelter from the cooler winds. Like I say, if it's in colder, more northerly areas, it will drop its leaf, it will be deciduous. So if you protect it from especially the northeasterly winds as it starts to get into autumn, you just want to put it in a nice sheltered spot in your garden, or if it's in a pot, you move it around. You can even pull it into your greenhouse over winter if you so wish, although it's not massively necessary. Like I said, it's an ideal plant if you're doing shrubbery with the contrasting colours against the greens and the yellows, the greys of other shrubs in your garden, and more of the flowering shrubs. But I will do a video later on on how to create a shrubbery, how you plan your shrubbery and the heights and the pruning that you need to be doing. And like I said, not all plants need to be pruned, but some do, just to get the best out of them. If you've got a pot outside your garden and every year you clear it out, put your bedding plants in, you get lovely flowers all year, absolutely not wrong with that. But if you want to cut down on your workload, and more importantly, if you want to cut down on how much you spend on your garden every year, this is an absolutely stunning plant for a pot. It will go to 7 foot, 2 meters, but you can prune it, you can keep it controlled. Every springtime you can cut it back to about 8" off ground level. Try not to cut too much into the hardwood. Plants don't get happy with that. But if every year you're pruning it back, it's absolutely fine. When it produces the new shoots and the new stems, it'll be intense in the colour and just intensifies the colour. And it gives you year-round interest. So in springtime, you've got the contrasting foliage against the green backdrop. In summer, you'll get the flowers. In autumn, you'll get the berries. And as the colder weather starts to come, it intensifies the colour. So there's reds, there's bronzes, there's greens, and there's greys. Huge variety. But it's such a stunning plant. I mean, there's shrubs, and then there's shrubs, and then there's this. This is probably one of the most outstanding shrubs you'll get in the garden.